Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, a place where dreams take flight, with authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives and meaningful conversations, where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV. Download our app, USA Global TV. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. Thanks to our founder and executive producer, Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Music score by Yeffy Tang from Cloud Road Music. Voiceover artist Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. USA Global TV and Radio. Your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited.
Hello and welcome to the Iconic Women Show here on USA Global TV and Radio. I'm Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and this is our very first episode. I have an incredible guest, Dawn Bates, who will be joining me. And before we begin, I just want to say that this show is a tribute to two very powerful, iconic women, one of whom is Dr. Alkistis Agio. I met in Greece, and she is an incredible person. She is a 3-step method process for people to find love instead of fear. And she actually is starting her own show. It's amazing how things turn around here in life. Her own show is coming up, the Agio Method. You can find it on Monday. It's actually live group coaching. And the second is to Dr. Lee Lewis, who actually started the Top 100 Global Women Icons. And I'm a recipient of this. As of last week, I was able to speak at the conference and took part in the gala. So that's how I came up with this. So this show is a tribute to iconic women all over the world. And it's based on Greek goddesses. There are a number of different goddesses, depending on if it's Roman, if it's Greek, and of course, other parts of the world. So we're going to be looking at 7 Greek goddesses and asking our guests to identify with one of them, and then really looking at the goddess within. So I'd like to talk about the goddess within that we have today, who is backstage, is going to be joining any moment here. And her name is Dawn Bates. Dawn and I met through a mutual contact. She is an author activist. She is a best-selling author, and she's also the founder of DBI Author Academy. She's won a number of awards, and she's really a humanitarian. She brings stories to light that people may be shocked, they may be controversial, maybe stories that people were afraid to bring forth. She helps people without voices or people who have not come forward share their story. Her own story is very powerful. I've heard it from her when she's been here before, and I'm going to save it for when she comes out. So let's give a warm welcome to Dawn Bates, who is joining us all the way from Wales. Welcome, Dawn. Good to have you.
Hi, how are you? And congratulations on your award last week. That's amazing.
Thank you so much. It's amazing how things turn around, right? You get an award, you meet someone, you have a TV show, and you're hard.
Yep, it's, a lot can happen in 10 minutes.
Yes, it can. And, I was really transformed when I met you for the first time. And I think it was through Mark Stephen Pooler.
The beautiful Mark.
He's a great connector and bringing people forth. And one thing I really took from you and I really admire is it's about collaboration. Some people are very much like, oh, no, this is mine. Oh, no, don't talk to that person. Oh, no, don't ask about this. You're very open and you're very confident in who you are. You've had an incredible journey. And I think through all of that, you have that wisdom, knowledge, and experience that just exudes through how passionate you are in helping other people.
Thank you. That's very kind of you.
It's very true. Thank you. So I'd like to just get started with which of the seven goddesses do you most relate to? And I'm going to bring up a visual here, iconic women. And so I'll just read off the names of the goddesses and just very brief description and see if one resonates. So we have Athena, goddess of wisdom and warfare, Aphrodite, goddess of love and beauty, Artemis, I hope I'm saying it right, goddess of the hunt and wild animals, Hera, queen of the gods and goddesses of marriage, Demeter, goddess of architecture and harvest, Hestia, goddess of the hearth and home, and Persephone, queen of the underworld and goddess of the spring. Okay, I hope I got them right. That's what we're talking about today. Does anything leap out at you?
Oh yeah, I knew as soon as I received the invitation, I knew who I was.
Who is it?
Artemis.
Artemis. Okay, tell us why.
Oh gosh, there's so much about her. I mean, the first thing I think would be, as a sailor, because as you know, I've sailed around the world, 20,000 deep blue, and I love being outside. I am the wild woman, bare feet in the grass on the beach. But whenever I was sailing, when you look at the story of Artemis, and I did promise you I wouldn't go too nerdy on this because I do love Greek mythology. But when you look up at the stars, because there was one of the stories of Artemis was the affair that she had with Orion, and there were the seven sisters who were the women that she protected, and I am fiercely loyal, and the whole thing when you're looking up at the night sky when you're out on the deep blue and it's just a blanket of stars. I've always been drawn to Orion. And like I said, fiercely loyal. But the fact that she's a hunter, she's got her eye on the target. I'm Sagittarian, there's the bow and arrow. I mean, that's one of the other things. But when you also look at the connection that she has to the moon and to dogs and, the wolves. And, I'm a dog lover. And cats are okay. They're all right. But dogs, yeah, I'll be with dogs all the time. But when you also look at how she was a midwife, and they said about her chastity, but what kind of chastity? I won't go too nerdy on this, but it's like the book birthing. I birth people's books. I hold space for them. I mother them. Sometimes, it's what they need. Sometimes I'm that tough love that people need to get their book out there. But it's all about helping them birth who they are, whether they're writing a book with me, whether they're friends with me, whether it's, just someone I've met at a business networking meeting, because like you say, I do like to collaborate and champion people. And I only wear silver. And, the attachment that Artemis has to Apollo and the moon, there's so much about her that just really resonates with me. And like I said, within a second, I knew I'd be Artemis.
I love the fact that you just know you're very confident in who you are and your alignment. So thank you for sharing that as our very first guest on Iconic Women. Dawn, when I invited you to be on the show, Iconic Women, what were your thoughts?
Well, I was quite humbled, actually. I was like, iconic women, because the word wordsmith, word nerd, the word icon, I was like, yeah, like for me, like iconic women, you think of, like, here in Britain, I tend to think of Jade Holland Cooper, incredible woman, who has built this, I think it's like nearly 70 million, if I'm not doing her an injustice, of beautiful tailoring. And she's an icon. And then you're looking at women such as Nawal al-Sadawi from the Arab world. You've got, I mean, we could go on about iconic women. And sometimes when I listen to people introducing me and I hear their description of me and how I'm like, okay, kick your imposter syndrome out the door, Dawn. You've been invited to this for a reason. You got to own it. And that's the thing. Is like when we channel these goddesses or these different archetypes, or we receive these invitations, it is about us stepping up to that next level, because we can do as much work as we like. But it's when other people recognize you at a higher level and you go, okay, I've got to get there now. or I'm going to go there now. And then you achieve that, and then you get invited to that next level, and it's almost like this constant evolution that's so exciting that a lot of people run away from, or they just, they ease into it gently. And again, like Artemis, yeah, there's no easing into it gently. It's like, come on, then let's just get the job done.
Thank you for sharing that. You brought up so many important points. And I think one of the points is that we aren't even aware many times of the impact that we're having on other people.
Mm,
And something that stands out for me, obviously, I'm on social media. We have a platform that's on social media. And so even though I have a social media team, I'm on social media maybe 3 hours a day. And I will see someone, I will physically go somewhere and see someone, and they'll say, wow, this happened yesterday. You're living your best life. And I thought, that's interesting. I wonder what she meant about that. She's like, I'm
mm,
following on social media, but there's never a like or a comment. And so to
mm.
think that people are out there watching what you're doing and they're making a judgment about it. This is not the show on judgment, but they're making some kind of judgment. And the hope is that you're leaving them with something positive, that's something that
Absolutely.
resonates. And so with you, with all the stages that you've been on as a keynote, you have changed lives, whether
Yeah.
you're as aware of it. And I think that's what you're talking about, is that then you get invited to the next thing and the next thing. You
Mm.
think, wow, I really am bringing top quality content and helping people.
Yeah, and the thing about being an author, I mean, I think we've got about 25. We just put another book on pre-order yesterday, and we've got another one coming out in November. I think that will take us to 27 now, I'm pretty sure. I've lost count. It's probably not, but I'm just so relentless. I'm like, okay, whose story can we share next? Like, what are people going through? How can we do that? And it's the readers when they message me, when they say to me, I read your book and you helped me connect with my daughter. So I wrote a book called Moana, which means Far from the Reef. Not the Disney Moana. Those people who know me know I'm more Banksy than I am Disney. And it was all about rape and how people, what this woman had gone through. And she said, without reading your book, I would never have been able to connect to my daughter in the way that I was able to after it happened to her. And that's why I write the books. It's because once we write about these stories, and like you said at the top of the show, a lot of people will shy away from them. A lot of people will go, it happened to me, but I can't write about it. Absolutely, you can, because it's a healing journey. There are some books I've written with people that will never be published because they're not about the publishing. It's about them healing by osmosis. It's about them healing through their writing journey. And I'm there as their guide to help them on that. Then you've got ladies like Carmel, who wrote her book Unlocked, Discover Your Hidden Keys Within. Her book was not really going to be something that she pushed very much. It was more about her going, you know what, I'm worth this investment. I'm going to invest in all of this coaching with Dawn. I'm going to invest in the publishing, and I'm going to invest in getting my story out there in the hope that it helps somebody. It's a brilliant book, and when I read it, I just feel Carmel's elegance, her gentle, soothing nature. Because again, it was about her investing in herself and saying, I'm worth this investment. And the work that we do when she puts it out there and we get messages from people, because it's not something we're relentlessly marketing, but when it hits with somebody, I went through that as well. I went through that. And I don't do these stories where, even when I do an anthology with people and I teach them to, like, for example, with Lani Mulvey, who did Standing in Strength, it was about us developing her leadership. So it was her book. She was leading 9 other ladies through the telling of their stories. I was there. I was coaching her on her leadership, on how to tell the story. I was coaching the other ladies on how to tell their stories and holding space for all of them, so that Lani could then become this women in sports advocate. And it's the people that see that, or that have read their stories, or they might have read a story in an anthology, or they might have read one of my books, and they've gone, oh my God, you made me feel normal. You made me feel that I wasn't alone. And I know that I've won awards. I've been shortlisted for others, and I am known, and I do have international best-selling books. But when you receive a message from someone that said, you saved my marriage, or you helped me connect to my daughter after she was raped, or you did this, or you gave me hope, or you made me realize, what the hell have I been doing for the last 3 years? If you did all that in 3 years, what have I been doing? You know, that's the true gold of being an author, in my opinion. But, you know, my opinion is one of, what is it, 6.9 billion in the world?
Beautiful shares. Thank you
Mm,
so much. And
you're welcome.
especially for the people whom you've touched and have reached out to you to let you know,
Mm,
that's so important. Dawn, you are, in addition to everything else, leading master classes and workshops in your academy and keynote speaking and
mm.
authoring and publishing and mentoring and coaching. You're a successful entrepreneur. And
Mm,
I think as an iconic woman, it's also about knowing your value. And
mm,
I've spoken to many women who undervalue their services and they're afraid. That's the word they use. They have fear of putting a
mhm.
price tag on what it is that they offer. So, can you share some of your perspective and your experience? How does a woman know what her value is in terms of, I offer these services, what's the price I should attach?
She ignores the market. That's the first thing. Ignore the market. You are not, your education, your life experience, your lived journey, and the amount you've invested in yourself is so different to everybody else. You cannot compare your price in the industry to somebody else's. In fact, actually, a couple of days ago, I'm looking over there because we've got the new pricing for the publishing packages on there, because we've added so much more to it, because we're realizing that there is so much more that the authors need. And there are so many other publishers out there that go, well, if you want that, it's going to be this charge. If you want that, it's going to be this. And it's that constant back and forth. Instead of just giving all the value, and we've got, okay, how much time does it take us to be of service to this person? What was that education that we've invested? What else have we learned? What else can we give? What else can we speak with our clients about to actually make them feel safer, and their own definition of safe? What can we bring to the table? Last night we had a sales call with Lara Latcham. We're just about to launch her book, Estella. Oh my God, that book! It's there's a book. Every woman needs to read this book. I actually felt like I'd done her out of money and nearly gave her a refund because I got so much from it. But that's not happening because it was my time that was invested in it and the expertise that I brought to it. But oh my God, we were there and we were working out what are her break-even points and what are her profit margins, and what does she have to make, how many copies of the book does she have to sell at which point for her to live the life that she wants. With Amanda, it was about looking at what is her lifestyle. She wanted to buy her own home. She wants to be a full-time illustrator. Amanda does quite a lot of the illustrations for the Dinkuses in our books, and she's done the cover designs for her own books, Seven Feathers and Sin Eater. And it's about, what is it, what are the, even to the point where I design these bookmarks for the books that we do. Like, I've got the menopause book because we're sorting out some merchandise packages. It's like, how long does it take me to design this? How long am I thinking about it? Okay, how many actions is it to actually bring this together? Once I've got the book, how many times am I picking up a bookmark, opening the book, putting the bookmark in, closing the book, putting it on the side, or putting it into packages? How many actions does that take? How long does it take me to create a social media post? How long does it take me to set up a profile? All of these things are missing from people's costs that they're doing. And I know how much I've spent in my education, whether it's with Oxford or London School of Business, whether it's with Cambridge, whether it's traveling the world, whether it's my own personal development and my own healing journey. I know what I've invested in myself, and I know that's not the same as somebody else's investment. And it's about looking at that, looking at what kind of lifestyle do I want to lead? What do I need? What do I want? What would be great? And what would be bloody brilliant? And what would blow my socks off? How much is that party worth? And I call it costing up your party, because if that's the lifestyle you want to lead, then it's about working backwards. Okay, well, if I'm not charging that much now, why not? Who told me I'm not allowed to charge that much? Was it because, oh, you're pricing yourself out the market? You're not pricing yourself out the market. You're pricing yourself into the right market. You're pricing yourself into the lifestyle that you want to lead, and there's nothing wrong with that. I've actually just been this morning writing the foreword for the Owning Our Ovaries book, which launches in November on the United Nations International Day against the ending violence to women and children, and looking at all of the different ways in which women still do not value themselves, still not value the journey that they've been on, and all that we as women have come and overcome. And I remember at an awards dinner at the beginning of the year when I was up for the Great British Business Women's Award for social impact, and I came in the top 8 women in Britain. I still kind of like, what? Holy moly! And the woman said that, we're laying the foundations for the women that are coming. It's like, no, we're not. We're not laying the foundations. The foundations were laid hundreds of years ago, thousands of years ago. And we're forgetting those women who died for us. We're forgetting the women who fought for us to have the luxuries and the freedoms we have today. And if we're not pricing ourselves into a market, we look at how much women are choosing to, because they are choosing it, because as the saying goes, what you're not changing, you're choosing, whether that's our figure, whether that's our income, whether that's our home, whether that's our relationships, whether that's our outfit, whatever that is. When we look at how much women used to earn, let's say 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, and then we look at how much women are earning now, not much different, yet the price of living has gone up. I actually had a conversation with an estate agent on Monday, and I'm looking for a new place to live. And one of the properties I looked at, they said that they wanted me to be making 2.75% more than the property that I'm looking at. Fine, fair enough. That that's an issue. But then I started thinking about it on a wider scale. Here in Cardiff, the capital of Wales in Britain, the average full-time position for a manager is only £25,000 a year, which is shocking, absolutely shocking. It's only just above minimum wage, and yet for a 2-bedroom property in an okay area, they were wanting £10,000 more per annum than the woman would be able to afford on her own. And when we look at how women do not fight for their rights, and they do not up their income, and they do not honor the worth that they have, we have, as I've also written in Owning Our Ovaries, we have a pair of ovaries that give us the capacity to receive life from the man, from his seed, into our uterus, and then grow life within our bodies. And then we have this power where we can push that baby out of us and we give birth to life. If we can do that, we can do anything. And women forget that. We have had women who have invented things that are saving lives today, and they were 100 years ago where there was nothing. We had no social media, and I always refer back to C.J. Walker, and because I do appear on a lot of American platforms. And when we look at C.J. Walker's legacy, this was a Black woman in a very white, male-dominated environment. She was somebody who was looked down upon, not just by society, but by others, even by the woman that she used to take care of. I don't remember that woman's name. Isn't that great? We don't remember the woman who was in high society, but we remember C.J. Walker. But she was not afraid to actually grab the life by the ovaries and take control of everything. And look at the legacy that she has created. And that's what women need to tap into. We need to stop making excuses and being a mummy martyr. And the women that say that, I know I'm getting off on one here now, and I really know that. But it's the mummy martyrs of the world that go, oh, well, I can't do that because I'm a mummy. That's exactly the reason you should be doing it. You should be showing your children, your boys and your girls, what women are capable of. If you're not, you're teaching your girls that they're less than. And if you're not showing your boys what you're capable of, you're teaching them that women are less than. Why would you do that? It doesn't make sense in my head, Jacalyn. It really doesn't.
It's a good question. It's an important question. And there's so many points that you just touched on that
Oh, I
are
could go off on it again, but
but something that I just want to dovetail with what you offered. I know for me, I've gotten rejection through my life from men, not typically from women, but from men. You'll never be any good at that. Why would you leave your paycheck to go do this television network? And even now, you're traveling all over the place. Should you really be spending that money? I'm sorry, but who asked you? And you brought in about traveling. I love what you just shared, that when you think about the lifestyle that you want to have, you need to include elements. And so for people like you and people like me, we like to travel. We're curious. We want to explore and see. And so we have to be able to afford that and put that into the budget. So not paying attention to what the market is charging, but what your experience and your value and the lifestyle that you want to live, that I think that's huge.
Well, yeah, I can see it's huge for a lot of people, but I just think it's just if you budget for a party, why would you not budget for your life? If you're budgeting for a wedding, why would you not do it for your life? If you know you want your kids to go to this school or to have these experiences, why not include yourself in that?
There is the question.
It leaves me, I mean, I have a lot to say, as we all do. And things like this just leave me kind of like confused. I'm like, how? And to pick up on your point, I've had most of my allies in business have been men. I've had more male allies championing me and introducing me to others than I've had women. And I have always found that really curious. And I've always also found that when I became a single woman after my divorce back in 2013, the shields that went down, these invisible force fields and like these protective things, I stopped getting invited out. Like women, like when my boys were at this school, if I'd go down there, the women would go stand right next to their husbands. I'm like, look, I'm really not interested in a relationship right now. You know, I'm still not interested in a relationship right now. My relationship is with myself and my business, my dog and my children. And it's going to take one heck of a guy to actually interrupt that. And I do find that there's a lot of women that espouse female empowerment. They talk about inclusivity. They talk about collaboration. And they talk about, oh yes, like I want to support women, but where are the referrals from women? Where are the real invitations to join? And I was talking to a friend of mine, Kirsty, on WhatsApp a few weeks ago. She's going off on another holiday with the girls. She's always going on holiday, and I never get invited, and I really need to sort that out. And I said to her, like, why is that? Why is it that I never get invited? She goes, Dawn, we never know where you are. No one ever knows where you are. How can we invite you? How can we make plans for you? Because you're always here, there, and everywhere. I think that, in fact, actually, I think that was two conversations. Part of that was with Kirsty, and I think the other one was with another friend. It's all a bit the same in the upside down. So yeah, but it is like when we live a life on purpose and we're always moving around and we're always up to something, which is how my friends refer to my misadventures. They're like, you're always up to something, you are. I'm like, well, it's good, isn't it? It's always good to be up to something.
Absolutely. It's exciting. It's exciting. I feel to have that curiosity and that wonder and what else is out there.
Yeah.
And by the way, I want to mention, I want to go to your website also because it's chock full of information for people. And I also would like to have you share a little bit about the truth serum. I think that's really interesting. Let me bring up your website right now. And there's an image of you at the top, which is extremely powerful and compelling. Can
Of
you
my
tell us
eyes.
a little bit?
Yeah.
Yes, your eyes are just like calling out into my soul here.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like that image.
I like
I've
it.
been told by a lot of branding experts, take it down, it's intimidating. And they've all been women, would you believe?
I
All been
would
women. I'm
be.
like, no, I'm keeping it up there. Because the thing is, for me, this speaks lots of volumes because if you notice, my body warmer is actually covering my mouth. And as somebody who gives a voice to the voiceless or amplifies voices, I thought that was really quite poignant. But it's also that you look really frightening. I'm like, no, I don't. I look really playful and really cheeky. I'm very focused and I'm very driven. But you can see the playfulness, and I will look you in the eye. And if I've got something to say about you, I'll say it to your face. I'm not going to talk about you in circles that you're not in unless I'm amplifying you. And I think that's where, sorry, not I think, I know that that's where a lot of problems occur. Because if I hear someone talking about someone else, I'm like, I'm going to walk away from that conversation. I'm not part of that. That's not for me. But I love that photo. That was taken. I had to dig deep for that photo. And today is not the show for me to share why. But that was taken by a very dear friend of mine, Jay, when we went to the beach one day. I needed some new photos taken. He goes, oh, come on then, let's just go. Because he's a brilliant photographer. He doesn't do like people shots. He's more parties, like, dance parties and scenery and really abstract imagery. But I'm the only one I think he's taken photos of. But yeah, that was 2017, that photo.
Well, what I think is so compelling is that photograph compared to the other one with you smiling and looking. It's a different vibe. And I think as an iconic woman, that there's that element too, that we're not always the same. People might not know what to expect of us. Like when you're saying your friends are like, we don't know where you are, what you're doing. Well, that's iconic, isn't it? Isn't that part of it?
Well, it is, because the one where I'm looking directly at the camera, that was when I was every photo on that website is from me in a different location in the world. So I can tell you, I was in the coffee region of Colombia in the picture in the bottom. I was in Scarborough in England in the top one. There's one of me in Tenerife. There's one of me in Brazil. There's one of me in the middle of the Atlantic. There's so much. We're actually in the process of updating the Dose of Dawn because there's so many that we've been going through all the metadata and everything. And now you brought up the truth serum. So yeah, the truth serum.
Tell us about the truth serum.
When it started out, people would just open up to me. I'm one of those people. I could just be sat there reading, or I'll start having a conversation with someone and they just not vomit, but they just pour out everything that's within them. And I know it's because I make people feel safe. And I like to have those conversations that, like, I like to write books about things that people are thinking, but they're too afraid to say. So we recorded 2 episodes of the Truth Serum, and then I've been moving around and getting sorted out back here in Britain. And we've taken a bit of a break, and we've looked at what we're doing. I need to get new recording material, like a new microphone, etc., because some of the quality, we've been cleaning up the quality of those previous shows. They're all unfiltered. I do not edit them. They are as raw and as real as they come, which is what I wanted. And once I get moved into my new place, I will, behind this background, there's loads of boxes. So I was so glad you gave us a background. I was like, oh God. I'm living in a lounge full of boxes at the moment because it's so glamorous being an iconic woman. But the truth serum, we've had conversations on there about all sorts. We've talked about female and male rape. We've talked about female genital mutilation. We've talked about why is it cultural? Why the cultural differences amplified in America, where it's like you're a Black American, you're an Asian American, you're an Arab American, when you don't have a white American or an Italian American. And why is it only the people of color that have got something prefixing the word American? So we had that conversation with Lani, and there's ones about different healing modalities, and it's such an exciting project. And I've interviewed a lot of my authors, and there is going to be more conversations coming. But again, it's like I need to get moved, soundproof my room, and invest in the new equipment that's coming, with the help of a very dear friend who's got his own recording studio. He's going to come and help me sort it all out. Aren't you, Richard? So yeah.
Dawn, I think one of the things that you just shared is a great way for us to close out the show today, which is being an icon is not necessarily glamorous, right?
No, it's not.
Because we're always in a state of creating and doing and being. And that's one of the things that I love most about you is that you are not sitting idle. That mind is going and you're constantly out there creating and giving back. So I just want to tell you, you are the goddess within. You are an iconic woman. And it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on this first episode. And just knowing and chatting with you before, we could be here for days because you are so easy to chat with. So thank you for that. What is the best way for people to reach you, and what is it that you're offering to help?
I hang out mainly on LinkedIn. If people want to connect with me there, that would be great. I do a lot in the DMs. You can contact me to work with me via my website. I don't give out my email address or my phone number. I like to have my boundaries, because another thing that iconic women do is we set boundaries and we honor those because we know the important work that we're doing. So if people want to connect with me on LinkedIn, if they want to invite me on their show, then they can use the contact page on my website. They can learn more about me via my website as well. We are looking I know this is a bit of a segue, but I'm looking for some men to appear in my next book, Male versus Man. So if there are any men out there that would like me to interview them for that book, that would be great. Get in touch, because we're going to be looking at what is the distinction between male and man. And I want men to identify it for themselves, not have society tell us what it is, not have anything else, but the man. I want the individual men from around the world to tell us what that is. So that's my next project. And if you want to write a book or you want to publish, then let me know and I'll see if I can help you. And if I can't help you, I'll pass you on to somebody else. We're launching the DBI Author Academy Lovers of Literature. So if you love literature, if you love philosophical debates, then stay in touch, connect with me, and we'll let you know when it's ready to launch.
Dawn, thank you so much. And thank you for the call to action. I always say this to people. There's an invitation on the table here.
Always.
Dawn has invited you. It is up to you to take action. So whether you're watching this live, whether you're watching it on a replay, whether you're listening to it in a podcast, open the door, open the window, walk through, climb through, do whatever you have to do to reach out to Dawn, because working with her will change your life. I can guarantee that. So thank you for being here. And I hope you'll come back and see me on this. I'd love to have you on our other show, Judgment, the Hidden Sin. That would be a good one as well.
Oh, that sounds like a juicy one. Let's go do that.
All right, I'll send you the link to that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye for now.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Well, there you have it, our first episode. Thank you so much for being here. And if you have been watching any of my shows, I used to do 10 shows a day, then I was doing no shows. And now I think I have 5 shows. I'm usually producing. But here's what I'll leave you with. I'm a peace ambassador. I take it very seriously. And there are 5 peace actions through World Citizen Peace. And I'll ask you to just think about them without judgment. Seek peace within yourself and others. It starts with us. It's not about him or her, or they're going to do it, or somebody else is going to fix it. We have to find peace within ourselves, give ourselves grace, and give others grace. We have no idea what's going on with someone else in their life. Let's give them grace. Reach out in service. If you don't have money to give, to invest, to donate, what can you do to help others? Who can you look around in your circle and see and say, you know what? I can help this person with my experience, with my expertise, with a connection through networking, protecting the environment. Once again, it's up to us. It's not about the next generation. It's about us. Dawn talked about the women who were here before us and the path that they set for us. We're setting a path for other people as well. Let's do our part. Respecting diversity. I love this. Every time I travel, I'm curious. I get to experience other cultures. If you don't get to travel. Look around, introduce yourself to someone, find out about what they're doing and how they're doing it. Be curious without being judgmental. And finally, be a responsible citizen of the world. As I mentioned before, we're here for a short time. Let's make the time valuable. Let's help other people. And finally, I'll leave you with 3 questions. Before we speak, is it true? Is it kind? And is it necessary? If not, maybe take a 6-second pause. Maybe take a step back. Maybe excuse yourself. There are all kinds of things that we can do before we put something out in the earth that could be judgmental and could really hurt someone. On that note, thank you for watching Iconic Women. Please do subscribe to our channels, our YouTube Silver Creator Award channel, USA Global TV and Radio, now at 107,000, and Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, which was started 2 years later, and it's close to 37,000. We're also on Amazon. We have our distributors taking us on Roku, Apple, and all different platforms across the world. Thank you again. We are saying goodbye for now, and over to our sponsors.
Get ready to wear the brand that's changing the world of media. Introducing the official USA Global TV and Radio online store. From our TV show hosts to our incredible global guests, you asked, we delivered. Rep your appearance with pride. Whether you've been on air, hosted a show, or tuned in, we have something just for you. Visit us at usaglobaltvradioshoп.myspreadshop.com and start shopping today. Check back frequently. We're dropping fresh new designs all the time. Showcase your role in our global community. These designs celebrate your voice, your story, your presence. It's more than just merchandise. It's a movement of hope, inspiration, education, and elevated listening. Head to usaglobaltvradioshoп.myspreadshop.com. Your spotlight awaits. USA Global TV and Radio. Elevate your style. Elevate the world.
Thank you, viewers and listeners of USA Global TV and Radio, for joining us today. We're honoured to have your time and attention as part of our global community. At USA Global TV and Radio, we believe in the power of authentic conversations, meaningful connections, and creating a world of possibilities together. Want to be part of something bigger? Join our team of elevated listeners at usaglobaltv.com, a space where your voice matters and your ability to listen transforms relationships. Stay connected with us across all our platforms for thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and empowering stories. Subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/c/USA Global TV. Follow us on social media and explore the endless opportunities we're creating for growth, learning, and inspiration. Together, we're not just broadcasting. We're building bridges and changing lives, one conversation at a time. For inquiries, contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Music by Johnny Dies. Produced by Executive Producer and Director Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Voiceover by Mike Porter. Creative Direction by Paul Garcia. All rights reserved. Copyright 2025. Visit usaglobaltv.com to view our full terms and conditions.